Sarah Polak-Kennedy. She is the head of business transformation at Uber. We all know Uber. We love Uber. She leads large scale initiatives that really do help organizations operate more effectively and drive real impact. No pun intended. Previously, she worked at McKinsey and Company, Thrive Capital, helping companies grow and improve performance across the industries. She graduated from Dartmouth and brings such a powerful perspective on leadership, problem solving, and building at scale. Please welcome Sarah. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Carrie. Really great to be here. Hadley, Justina, Izzy, Lilia, really great job. I feel like
Mm.
really inspired out of the work you guys are doing. Really impressive. Loved how in-depth those presentations were and how many parts of a business they covered. Riley, also really cool to hear about your experience as an alumni and starting up your own chapter. That's amazing. I'm really excited to be here with Girls with Impact and really just like energized by the work today. So, as Carrie said, my name is Sarah Polak-Kennedy. Um, I'm currently the head of business transformation and sourcing innovation at Uber. That role is a mouthful, it's a lot of words. And I probably would not have known what any of them meant when I was in high school or college. And sometimes I still don't today. So I want to break it down and kind of explain to you what my job is and how I got here. If you have questions for me, feel free to put them in the chat. I'll try to answer them as well. But basically, so Uber, like you know, it was a high growth startup. Started back in 2008 as an idea to try to figure out how to get a ride by the founders who were in Paris. And as part of that, they were trying to grow at all costs, moving fast, breaking things, not really caring how much things were going to cost because they were just going to go as fast as possible to grow. But about 6 years ago, Uber became a public company. And part of becoming a public company is creating systems of checks and balances for your finance team to make sure that even though you're growing in a way that's sustainable. So part of that, Uber realized it has to grow out its finance function. And over time, the CFO realized that there was an opportunity to be smarter about spending. And so my role at Uber is really looking at all of Uber's costs and finding new ways to save Uber money, which I really enjoy. So the skills that I use in this role really lean in on my background. I spent 6 years at McKinsey and Company doing management consulting. Again, more buzzwords. I did not know what those words meant in high school, but my role was basically to take a look at large companies that were on the brink of failing and help turn them around. So I'd fly out to manufacturing sites and corporate offices all over the world and work hand in hand with people that worked there to figure out how to improve their companies. The skills I learned in this role took on a variety of forms. So sometimes I was a detective. I was going on fact-finding missions, digging into data, trying to find an audit trail and figure out what was going on. Sometimes I was a scientist, using the scientific method to test and retest a hypothesis about something that I knew that I thought was true, but I didn't quite have enough evidence to prove it. And sometimes I was a preacher. I was evangelizing on why certain things were really great and certain things weren't. But if I go back further, these skills were really cemented for me in high school and college. So in high school, the most important extracurricular I did was Model United Nations. It's basically debate where you pretend to be in the Model UN. But I had some really inspiring teachers. And for 4 years, they would make us stand up during what we called zero period, 7 a.m. And they'd stand up on top of our desks and have to recite impromptu speeches on any topic that they gave you all day in, day out. Started this freshman year. I was kind of afraid of public speaking, and by the time I got to senior year, I was not, I could public speak anytime, any place. That really set me up for success in a lot of areas of business. I'm really thankful that I did that. And the second thing is in college, I took on leadership positions wherever I could, learning about managing and also learning how to fail. And this has been really important to me in my career so far. So the main thing is I had a lot of reps in a core business skill set, the skill set that I use every day, but I didn't study business in college, I didn't study it in high school, and I hadn't really done any business courses like this before. So because I had reps in public speaking, I had reps in sales from trying to convince people about how to do things, I had reps in upward management and in managing my peers, I was really able to set myself up for success in my career. So when I look out at where you guys are now, my main takeaway is you're really ahead of where I was. The way that you all broke out a business case, the way you think about a company, how you'd scale it, how you'd market it, how you'd get investors, I didn't know what any of that meant when I was in high school. And I also didn't really know about that in college. And so I had to learn it on the job, which is possible. You can do it. But the fact that you're doing it now means that you're already going to be ahead of your peers. Um, You also, though, have a lot of harder challenges than even I faced. You have the advent of AI, you've got the uncertainties that it's going to bring. And so you're going to have to be navigating a workforce that's changed a lot really rapidly in the past 5 years. So I've got a few messages for you all based on my own learnings, and hopefully these are helpful. Four things that I kind of, when anyone asks me about what's helpful in my career, I tell them. The first one is don't be afraid of math. Unfortunately, it is something that follows you for the rest of your life. You think you're done in geometry or calculus, but you actually still keep doing it. And part of not being afraid of math is finding ways that you can fail in it in a safe way. The worst grades I got in high school were in math, and the worst grades I got in college were in math. But I do math every single day in my job, and it is something that has followed me. And if I wish I had not been as afraid of it and taken harder classes in it so that I could do it more. Um, Kind of related to that is find ways to fail safely. A lot of times, folks in high school feel a lot of pressure, especially with college admissions, to be perfect all the time. But it's really important to learn how to fail and learn how to grow from it. So find sports teams that'll let you fail in a team when you don't win a game, or find opportunities to not succeed because you learn a ton from that. And again, that's why I say take math. Like for me, that was a lot of failure, and I've learned a lot. The next one is trying out for leadership positions wherever you can. I said I didn't take business classes in college because I went to a liberal arts school that didn't offer it, but I did learn a lot about business from those leadership positions. And everything that I did in those, I see replicated in the business world. So that for me is the most one-to-one comparison. And the last thing I'll say about this is do something well that you care about deeply and can talk about a lot. So the reason I say those four things and why I think they're really important for you as someone in high school and college is I interview a lot of people in college who are applying for roles right outside of college. And then I work with those people in their jobs. So I see you where you are, where you're about to be in a couple years. And the people that I saw that did the best, that got the jobs at McKinsey or at Uber, and then succeeded in their jobs were not the ones that necessarily took the most conventional path, but the ones that had really cared about something, done it at a high level, had learned from their failures, and then kept trying again and again. And they could talk me through every single aspect of what they did. I interviewed someone one time who had done a really, really challenging hike for multiple weeks, and it led them to learn a lot about themselves, and they had a lot of failures during it. It was a really compelling interview, and they went on to be really, really good at their job because they had told me about all the ways that they had failed and learned from it, and I was really inspired by that. So I'll close you out here. I'm incredibly excited to see about the work you're doing and the skills that you're bringing for the workforce. Like I said, you guys are all ahead. I'm really excited about that. Can't wait to see what you accomplish. Please feel free to reach out. I'd love to be a resource in the future. I'm really excited about Girls with Impact and excited about what you do.